Okay, so sorry for that interruption that we had. Okay, so let's go back to the question, okay, that we were discussing. Okay, so part one of that question was asking you to determine the amount of funds, okay, that you need to raise, okay, from each of the source that is during the year 2015 as to maintain the company capital structure. Okay, so essentially, okay, as we said, the first bit you need to assess is that whether the company optimal capital, whether the company capital structure is optimal. Okay, and if you check on the note 2, okay, you'll be told that the capital structure of the company is optimal. Okay, as I mentioned, essentially, in case the question is silent, then of course you always assume that the capital structure is optimal. Either way, you'll be told that it is optimal. So generally, therefore, okay, so this is our optimal capital structure. So of course, the first thing is to assess whether it's optimal. After you've done that, then of course you determine the proportion of each of the capital source towards the total amount of capital that this company has. Okay, so this company, okay, there's the equity. So I begin by equity. So we have equity. In the equity, we have the ordinary share capital. And the ordinary share capital for this company is 15. So 15, all these are in thousands. Then you have the retained earnings. You have retained earnings, which is equal to 25 to give us a combined of 40. Okay, then we have the debt. Okay, debt in this for this company. Okay, there's in two. There are two of them. We have the debenture and you have the bank loan. So you have here debenture. Here you have the bank loan. Okay, of course the debt essentially is 30 million. 30 million. We have the preference share. Okay, this company also has preference share. And the preference share for this company is 30 million. Sorry, 30 million more or less. Okay, to give us total capital of 100 million. Here you can see the proportion investment. Okay, so here it is the percentage of each of the source. Okay, so since it's out of 100, then it's quite easy for us to get the percentage. Okay, for equity, it's simply 40%. For debt, 30%. For preference share, 30%. Okay, that implies therefore the amount of money that the company shall obtain. Okay, so first is know the total amount of money the company has. Okay, the company requires 100 million. Okay, that's the total capital the company requires. To me, therefore, so capital to be raised. So capitals to be raised, and say it is equal to 100 million. Would imply therefore the amount the company shall obtain, okay, from retained earnings. We've been told from debt, as per note the fourth bullet point, okay, you'll be told the company can generate 10 million from internal sources. Simply, this gain be from the company retained earning. Okay, that is the fourth bullet point you have there. Okay, 10 million. Which means therefore the capital to be raised from equity, the proportion of equity we are said as per the capital structure is 40% of 100 million. Okay, to give us therefore 40 million. So 40 million come from equity. And you say that equity is in two. We have the issue of shares, and you have the use of retained earnings. If you told that the amount that will come from the retained earnings, okay, is 10 million, that is from the fourth bullet point there, 10 million, which implies that for the balance must come from the issue of shares. That is 40 out of 40 minus 10 to give us therefore 30 million. Okay, that is the amount the company amount capital to be raised from the equity. From debt, that is from debt. We told that from debt from our proportional capital. Okay, we have seen that it is equal to 30%. Okay, therefore from debt, therefore it will be 30% of 30% of 100 million give us 30 million. Okay. However, for debt, you'll be told something under the first bullet point. Okay, you'll be told that the company can issue a 9% debenture with a par value of 100 at an issue price of 90. The maximum amount available is 20 million. So the maximum amount of money the company can obtain from the debenture, okay, is 20 million. So we can begin by debt first. The amount of debt from the debenture. And from the debenture, we told that it will be equal to 20 million. Okay, the total amount of debts the company can obtain is 30% of 100 million to give us 30 million. Okay. Then in note, the same note, any extra debt will be raised through the issue of 12% debenture. So this is 9%. Okay, just to specify, this is 9%. The balance, so we have the, let me just call this is first debenture, second debenture. The balance is going to be from second debenture, cost was equal to 12%. 12%, which is going to be, we are saying that the total amount that will come from debt is 30% of 100 million to give us therefore 30 million. So the balance, okay, which is 10 million, will come from the 12% debenture. Okay, the extra debt we thought will come from the issue of 12% debenture. Okay, then we have preference share. Okay, you'll be told, as per the second bullet point, the company can issue additional 15% preference share with a par value of 50 at 25. Okay, so here that source of capital is the preference share, which as per our capital structure, it ought to be equal to 30%. Okay, so coming back here, it will be 30% of the capital required, and we require 100 million. Therefore, the amount of capital to be raised from preference share is equal to 30 million shillings. Okay, that is from our notes. That's our first requirement. Okay, to get the capital to be raised from each of the capital sources. Okay, don't forget, in case you have a question, you let me know. Okay, that's first part. Now, second part, okay, of the question is asking us to get the number of shares to be issued in order to raise the desired external capital. Okay. So going back to our analysis here, we have said that the amount the company shall be raising from the issue share, you just determine here, okay, to be equal to 30 million. Okay, therefore the amount to be raised from external finance is 30 million. Okay, so capital to be raised from issue of shares, you have determined to be equal to 30 million. Okay, that means therefore we are going to raise this from the issue shares. And as per note, the third bullet point, the company can issue new shares at the current price of 88. A cost of floating those shares will be incurred, and that the amount to be incurred will be equal to 8 shillings per share. Okay, that means therefore the total, okay, so capital, because the cash per share, okay, cash received to be received, okay, per share of issue, of course, is going to be equal to the issue price minus issue cost. Okay, minus issue cost. The issue price, you'll be told, is equal to 88. The issue price is equal to 8. That implies that for the net amount of capital to be received from each of the share issued is equal to 80. Don't forget the total amount of money that we need, okay, is 30 million. Okay, therefore, You can see therefore the capital to be raised is equal to the new shares, the new number of shares we need to offer, to the market. We multiply by the cash per share. Let me just call it cash per share. Capital is 30 million is equal therefore the number of shares. We multiply by 80. We imply therefore the number of shares will be equal to 30 million divided by 80 to give us how much? How many shares therefore must you issue to obtain the intended capital of 30 million? Record the classes. Wow. Thank you for that reminder. Okay, retained earnings. Then we also have the debenture debt. We also have, and the debt can be two. So debt is 9% debenture. We also have the 12% debenture. Then we have the preference share. So you want to determine how much capital the company is going to raise from each one of them. Don't forget here the total capital, okay, that we need is 20 million. So from equity, don't forget we are said going back to our capital structure, okay, which is here, equity contributes 40%, okay. So equity contributes 40%. Therefore, you can have, let me have working here. So let me have my workings here. So equity, from equity only, it will be equal to 40% of 20 million to give us 8 million. The amount of money the company shall obtain from equity is 8 million. Okay. And as per the fourth bullet point, you'll be told that the company, the amount of money available is 10 million. Okay, from retained earning is 10 million. It's more than what we need. Okay, therefore, it means therefore, as a company, the entire 8 million will be financed through the retained earning. Okay, to be financed retained earning, which implies therefore, since it is not yet below the 10 million, then we don't need to issue the shares. Okay, it means therefore we don't need to issue any share. Okay, well, that's clear. Okay, the company is going to obtain 10 million from the internal sources. In short, therefore, from retained earning. Okay, so you see that the amount of money we need is 8 million. The amount available to finance the company through retained earning is 10 million. So all the money we need is there. Okay, 8 million. So we don't need to issue any share in the market, therefore. Okay, clear there? Then in the first bullet point, okay, you told the company, okay, the amount of money available, the maximum amount of debt available for the 9% is 20 million. But how much money do we need from debt? Okay, that's the next working. The amount we need from debt, don't forget debt was 30%. Yes, here it is. Debt was 30%. Therefore, debt is equal to 30% of the amount of money we need, 20 million, which give us therefore 6 million. Okay, 6 million. Now the amount available from the 9% debenture is 20 million. Okay, it's more than even what we need. Okay, it's more than even what we need. But therefore, we are going to be taking the 6 million from the 9% debenture. For the 12% debenture, therefore we don't need to raise any money, so 0. Okay. The next is from preference share. From preference share, simply is equal to 30% of 20 million, which will give us 6 million. So the amount we raised from the preference share is equal to 6 million. So 6 million to give a total equal to 20 million. Okay, that's how the 20 million, that's how we shall be financing the 20 million. Which means therefore, we need to get the MCC, we need to get the marginal cost of capital. That means therefore, we need to get the cost of retained earning, the cost of the 9% debenture, and the cost of these preference shares. Okay, that therefore come therefore our next working to get the cost of equity only for the retained earnings. Okay, so we've got our next working therefore. Okay, we get the cost of retained earning, cost of the 9% debenture, and the cost of preference share. So here we come for our next working. So cost of capital. So we can bring part A, cost of equity. For this case, we all need to get the cost of the retained earning. So A, so 1 is cost of retained earnings. Cost of retained earnings. Look, this they don't have flotation cost. Therefore, cost of equity is equal to D naught 1 plus G P naught, okay, plus G. Don't forget here we don't need to take into account the cost of flotation. Why? Because we are not floating anything. Okay, we are simply obtaining the money from the company past earnings. Okay. And as per the third point, okay, the company can issue new shares at their current market price of 88. They incur a cost of flotation equal to 8. The company has been able to pay a dividend at a growth rate of 10%, okay, and this is going to continue into the future. So you have the G, we have the P naught, okay, we need the dividend. Now, the company earnings was 10, and they do pay 40% of those earnings, okay. That implies, therefore, from there we can go now to be able to obtain the dividend, okay. So D naught is 40% of the company earnings, okay. The company earnings will be told is equal to 10 shillings. That implies, therefore, the dividend paid by the company is equal to 4. The growth will be told is equal to 10%, is equal to 10%, and P naught is equal to 88. Okay, the market value P naught is equal to 88 shillings. Okay, having done that, I think we have all the variables required in order for us to be able to get the cost of equity. Therefore, cost of equity will be D naught, which is 4. The growth is 10%. Okay, so 1.1. P naught is equal to 88 plus the growth 0.1. To give us how much? To be the cost of retained earning. We get 15% to be the cost of retained earnings. So we get that to be 15% of the cost of retained earning. Okay. Therefore, don't forget we needed to get the cost of retained earning. We have done that, and we need now to get the cost of the 9% debenture. So the next working is working B, cost of debenture. Okay, and this is the 9% debenture. Okay, so going back to our first point, the company can issue a 9% debenture with a power of 100 at an issue price of 90. Okay, no further information has been given to us, which implies, therefore, we go back to our assumption that is these debentures are irredeemable. Okay, so they are irredeemable. Okay, therefore, cost of the debenture will be equal to the interest. I've taken into account that there is tax. We divide by the current market value, and we express this as a percent. The interest, this is a 9% debenture. Do we pay tax? Yes. Okay. In note 1, there is tax of 30%. Therefore, the net interest is 9% of the par value. The par value of this debenture is 100. Therefore, par value 100, 1 minus t, 0.3 to give us 6.3, I assume. Confirm, get 6.3, therefore, to be the net interest income, 6.3. Okay, thank you, Louisa, for confirming. Okay, 6.3 become therefore the net interest income. The P naught should be told that we're going to issue them at the market price at the issue price of 90, which simply is the market price of 90. So we have all the variables we need in order for us to estimate the cost of this debenture. Okay, therefore RD would be equal to 6.3 divided by the market value of this debenture, which is equal to 90, and we express as a percent. To give us how much will the cost of this debenture? To give us 7% from Stacy. Okay, 7%. Thank you for coming. 7% come therefore at the cost of the debenture. So you're done with estimating the cost of retained earning. You're done with that. The cost of the debenture. Now next is to get the cost of the preference shares. The cost of preference share become therefore our next working. Okay, so C cost of preference shares. Okay, so RP is equal to the preferred dividend. Okay, we divide by the market value of those preference share, and of course we express as a percent. The preferred dividend, okay, that is in note the second bullet point there. The company can issue additional 15% preference share at the par value of 100 with a par value of 50 at 25. Okay, so you can see here the par value and the issue price are different. Okay, therefore in this case, therefore P naught is going to be 25. However, the nominal value will be told is equal to 50. Therefore, the preferred dividend, okay, will be equal to the rate it is paying the dividend at is 15%. So 15% times the nominal value. Be careful, don't forget you're going to use nominal values times the nominal value, and the nominal value for this preference share is 50. So times 50 to give us how much to be the preferred dividend. Okay, to give us 7.5, to give us 7.5. Thank you for that. Therefore, we can say the preferred dividend, the cost of this preference share, therefore, RP is going with the dividend, 7.5. We divide by, okay, we divide by the market value, and the market value is 75, and we express this as a percent, okay, express as a percent to give us 10%, to give us 10%, to give us 10%, okay, and that's how we determine, therefore, the cost of preference share, okay, 10%, okay. Okay, so Stacy has a request here. Okay, we go back to our first slide and answers to part 1. Okay, so for the sake of Stacy, we go back to our first workings, the first working had. I presuppose this what Stacy you mean. And this is our slide number 2. Okay, the answer to part I think to part 1. The amount of funds. Okay, see all of it. Yeah, the amount of funds that require from each of the source. Yeah, more or less. I think this is the slide number 1. Okay, I hope that's clear, Stacy. Okay, so having done that, you obtain the money from each, or you determine the cost from each of those capital source. Now, what do you do next? Okay, you simply get now the MCC, the marginal cost of capital. Okay, the marginal cost of capital. Now, the marginal cost of capital for this particular case, okay, don't forget the total capital we have is 20 million. Okay, as for what before is 20 million. Okay, that implies therefore the 20 million, we are going to raise it as follow. 8 million from retained earning. So 8 million from retained earning. And the cost of the retained earning from working here, good. Is it? Yeah, it is. Okay. Yeah, it is. It's 15%. So therefore times 15%. You're going to obtain 6 million from the debenture. The 6 million will come from the debenture. So 6 million. And the cost of the debenture, we have just obtained, it's here, 7%. The other 6 million, okay, we have it here. Where is it? We have it here, will come from the preference shares, okay? Therefore, preference share, 6 million, times the cost of preference share, which you have just obtained to be equal to 10%. The total amount of capital that we are going to be raising is 20 million. So divide by 20 million to give us, therefore, what will be the marginal cost of capital for this company if they only want to raise the 20 million. And you get how much? We get 11.1% to be the marginal cost of capital. Okay, to be the marginal cost of capital. Okay. Yes, that's how you are meant to have done that particular question. Okay, so Asma.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
I have a question. Could you please go back to Roman 4. The way you calculated the debt, how did you get 6 million for the 9% debenture?
Oh, how we got the 6 million? Okay,
Yeah.
so here it is. We say that, don't forget, we say that we must maintain the company capital structure, okay? And the company capital structure that we had all the way from the beginning, okay? Just to take you back to our first slide, okay? We said that equity will be 40%, debt will be 30%, and preference share will be 30%, okay? That means, therefore, out of the 20 million that you want to raise, okay, out of the 20 million that you want to raise here, 40% will come from equity, which you got here, 40% of 20 million, that's equity. 30% will come from debt. 30% of the 20 million will come from debt, 6 million, we have it here. 30% will come from the preference share, which we have it here. Then going back to our first point, okay, our first bullet point there, the maximum, okay, there's a second line, the maximum amount available is 20 million. Don't forget, you're first going to issue from the 9% debenture. If money is not going to be enough, then you go to the 12% debenture. But here, it is not yet above 20 million. So therefore, the entire 6 million, okay, is going to come from the 9% debenture. Hope that's clear. It's clear.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so that's how you obtain, therefore, the marginal cost of capital. Okay. Okay, so having done that, we have the MCC. The next is to, in this, the requirement number 5, the firm marginal cost of capital for funds to be raised during the year 2015 for the 3 level of financing. Okay, for the 3 level of financing. Now, if, for example, okay, as a company, there's something called, in the MCC, there's something called the breakpoints. Okay, there's something that we do call the breakpoint. So let me just illustrate in our next slide here what we call the breakpoint. So breakpoints, okay, will be a breakpoint, just means a simple definition, okay. So a breakpoint, let me just call BP, okay, exists if an additional shilling or dollar, okay, would increase the company weighted average cost of capital, or maybe weighted marginal cost of capital. Okay, so a BP exists if the additional sharing or dollar, okay, raised by the company, okay, will increase the company weighted average marginal cost of capital, or the company weighted average cost of capital. Okay, now what that means is that in case you're going to raise an extra dollar, okay, the cost is going to increase. Maybe the cost, okay, let me just give an example here. Okay, back from the question. From the question, if you check on debt, okay, let's begin on debt. If you're going to raise more than 20 million from debt only, okay, if we say that the maximum amount of money available, okay, from debt, the 9% debenture is 20 million. What if now you want to raise 21 million? If you want to raise 21 million, it means therefore 20 million come from the 9% debenture. What about the extra 1 million? The extra 1 million is going to be raised by the 12% debenture. Okay, hope you can see that point. Okay, that if you're going to raise, okay, 20 million. If you're going to raise 20 million, that implies therefore 20 million will come from the 9% debenture. If you're going to raise an extra $1, then the extra $1 of debt will come from the 12% debenture, an extra cost. Now the cost now increased from 9% to 12%. Now it means therefore there exists a break. I mean, it is therefore mean that there's a break that is existing there. The same applies for the case of equity. If, for example, the total capital you're going to raise from equity is 10 million, if the total capital you're going to raise from equity is 10 million, okay, it means therefore the 10 million you're going to obtain will be from the retained earnings only. If you want more money from retained earnings, okay, more than 10 million, now where do you obtain the extra? as per note 2, the company is going to issue new ordinary shares, which is going to be more expensive than the use of the company tenani. Therefore, it means there's a break there. Okay, it means there's a break point there. The cost is increasing. Don't forget, the cost is going to remain. The cost of equity is going to remain constant all the way until 10 million has been exhausted. If the company uses more than 10 million, then of course the cost is going to jump. In the case of debt, between 0 and 20 million, the cost of debt is going to, the interest we are paying is at 9%. Okay, it is sticky. If you're going to raise more than 20 million, then the cost is going to jump from the interest you'll be paying, increase from 9 to 12. That's where we have the breaks. Okay, what we call the break points, the marginal, the capital break points. Okay, I hope that's clear. Now for this company, what are the break points? Okay, you say that the break points. Okay, so you can say the first break point. Okay, let's begin with the tenani. Okay, for equity. Don't forget, in case you're going to raise more than 10 million, then the cost is going to increase. Okay, so the total capital you need to raise before the change occur is 10 million. So 10 million, we divide by the proportional amount of capital we have for that particular capital source. Okay, let me repeat. Don't forget this is equity. Okay, let me just write here on top. This is equity, the break point for a case of equity. Okay, that we say that in case you raise more than 10 million from equity, there's a break. So the minimum amount of capital you need to raise from equity is 10 million before the cost increase. That's called the first break for equity. The total capital, okay, we are going to obtain from equity in terms of percentage, okay, we obtained from our previous working, is 40%. Okay, therefore we divide by that proportion. So 40%. Okay, so we divide by 0.4 to give us how much? Okay, to give us 66, the 666, 67 more or less, okay, 6.7 million. Okay, that's kind of for our second break. So there are two breaks. Okay, so you have the break that occur because of equity, and you have break that occur because of debt. Let me illustrate in sort of a simple graphic. Okay, to help us understand. Okay, now in case you're going to raise 25 million, if you're going to raise 25 million, the cost is going to, if you remember, we have done the case here for the 20 million. For the 20 million, between zero, okay, between zero all the way until 25 million, let me just try to illustrate. Any finance you're going to raise, okay, between zero, don't forget 25 million is the total capital to be raised, okay. 25 million here, this 25 million is the total capital you're going to be raising. Now, between 0 and 25 million of the total capital, the cost of the cost to the company, okay, will be equal to 11.1%. Don't forget the 20 million is between 0 and 25. The 20 million total capital is between 0 and 25. Okay, so the cost is going to remain constant. Irrespective of how much capital you're going to obtain, the cost remains constant. Just to show you, we illustrate that point. We are saying that our first, okay, the breaks, okay, let's say, let me just call them this, the breaks here, or the break points, the break points. So between 0 and 25 million, the cost is again constant. Now, anything above 25 million, so above 25 million, but not yet above this, our new break here, the cost also remains constant. Okay, 25 million and 666, 67, the cost remains constant. Anything above that, between above 66 shillings, the cost is going to increase further. Now let's see if they do the MCC, just to illustrate the point. If you remember, we have done here, this question, the previous example, the 20 million. Now, don't forget, 20 million is between the 20 million is between 0 and 25 million. So the cost is 11.1 million. So in case in this break, the first break, we call this our first break here. So break 2 and break 3, between 0 and 5 million, any money you're going to raise, the cost will be at 11.1%. For example, let me just, okay, this is just for analysis. You don't need to do that, okay? So if, for example, you raise 20, which you've done here, this was the cost. What if you had to raise, let's say, 10? Okay, I've just picked a figure, okay? Any figure between 0 and 25 million, okay? What if you had raised 10 million? What would be the cost, okay? Let me just start working for that, okay? If this is just an illustration, you don't need to do that, okay? But so our own consumption, okay? If the company was raised 10 million, okay? If the company was raised 10 million, equity, don't forget it will be 4 million because 40%, okay? Equity will be 40% of 10 million to give us 4 million. Debt will be 30% of 10 million to give us 3 million. Preference share, on the other hand, will be equal to 30% of 10 million to give us 3 million also, a total of 10 million. Now the marginal cost of capital in that case will be equal to the amount of money that we have from equity is 4 million. So 4 million. Don't forget equity, we need 4 million. And you said as per the fourth bullet point, we have 10 million from Tinani. So we don't need to issue any share. We don't need to issue any share. Okay? Which means that the cost remains as the cost of the Tinani. And the cost of Tinani was how much? The cost of Tinani was, we have the work in here, was 15%. So it means 15%. Okay? Was equal to 15%. Therefore, the cost of Tinani, 15%. 3 million will come from debt. Don't forget, the 3 million is not yet above 20 million. So it is from the 9% debenture. It is from the 9% debenture. And the cost of the 9% debenture was how much? The 9% debenture, you have it here, was equal to 7%. Okay, so remain at 7%. Therefore, 7%. And the 3 million will come from preference share, and the preference share doesn't change. So it remains as it was before. And the cost of preference share was how much? And the cost of preference share was at 10%. So times 10%. Okay, times 10%. We divide total capital, which is equal to the 10 million we have here. So what's the MTC? If you have to raise, don't get this just for our own consumption. It's just a hypothetical case. Okay. Now, what will be the MCC then if you have to raise 10 million? We get the same. So you get 11.1%. Okay. So it does not matter. Okay. Any finance you're going to raise between 0 and 25 million, the cost remains constant at 11.1%. Okay. So here the MCC is equal to 11.1%. So any capital gain raise between 0 and 25 million, the cost is going to remain sticky at 11.1%. If you remember the same thing we did here, okay, this was 20 million, this was 20 million, and the cost was still at 11.1%. Even if you try 24, you apply 25, the cost is going to remain at 11.1%. If you raise more than 25 million, if you want more than 25 million, now the cost will have to change. If you're going to raise more than 25 million, then the cost will have to change. Let me just take a case here, just a hypothetical case, okay? If we raise, let's say, maybe 40 million, okay? Let me just take a case, 40 million. Don't forget 40 million is between 25 million and 7 million, okay? So you can try to take either 50, 60, 30, okay? Let me just take, let me just take 50, whatever you prefer. Let me take 50, for example. If you take 50, okay, so assuming capital required, assume capital required is equal to 50, required in this case is equal to 50. It means therefore the amount you're going to obtain from equity, we have here issue of shares, we have the retained earning, we have the debt can be in 9%, okay, debenture, and you have the 12% debenture. Then you have preference share. Okay, preference share is only one. So preference share of the company. Okay. The total capital you need here is equal to 50 million. Okay, so that is that. So we need 50 million. We can have a side work in here. If we need 50 million, the amount you're going to obtain from equity, we need from equity is equal to 40% times 50 million to give us how much? 20 million, I guess. Yes, 20 million. So 20 million. Okay, the amount that we need from debt, is 30% of 50 million to give us 15 million. The amount we need for preference share is the same, 30% of 50 million to give us 15 million. Okay, therefore preference share 15 million. This is the distribution, 15 million out of the 50 million. Debt, we have said that 15 million. Don't forget, going back to note 1, you'll be told that the maximum available for the 9% is 20 million, and the debt is 15 million. So we are yet to go above the 20. So the entire 15 million is going to be raised from a 9% debenture. Okay, so here 15 million from 9% debenture, then 0 from the 12% debenture, because we are yet to go above the 20 million. Okay, bracket. Then from the fourth bullet point, the amount to be raised from retained earning is 10 million. Okay, so 10 million from retained earning. The amount of money you require from equity is 20 million. Okay, you can see this part, 20 million. And from retained earning, it is 10 million. So already we have exhausted retained earning. So you have to, it is a must you issue shares. How much? The balance, okay, was equal to 20 minus 10, give us 10. Okay. Therefore, 10 million will come from the issue of shares, and that's how we'll have the distribution of the 50 million. Now, what's the cost then there? Don't forget, okay, comparing to the previous example, okay, we have here, this example, we never had retained earning. Okay, don't forget, in this example, we never had retained earning because we are going to, we only need 4 million, okay, which is not yet above the 10 million. By this example, we do need the company to issue new shares. So we need to get the cost of issuing new shares in the market. Okay, that's becoming for our next working. We ought to determine the cost of issuing new share in the market. So this is the cost of issue of new equity shares. Okay, so new shares. So the same model, the dividend growth model. Okay, P naught. Don't forget this is the issue of shares. So in case there is some flotation cost, then we ought to subtract it. Okay, if there is, plus G. Now, in the third point there, the company can issue new shares less 8 shillings. There will be some cost the company will be carrying towards flotation equal to 8. Therefore, D naught, I think we got, if I was just refer to the previous model, okay, just replicate it. Yes, it is, okay. We had it here already, okay. So here, don't forget, it's going to be less flotation cost, okay. The only difference between retained earning and the issue shares is that for the issue share, there will be some flotation cost to be incurred, okay. Which means, therefore, the cost of issuing new shares, okay, is going to be less. Okay, let me just do it here, okay, to make our work easier. Sorry for that. Okay, so here you have cost of, okay, so here cost of new share issue will be equal to 4 times 1.1 divided by 88 less flotation cost, okay, of 8, okay, plus 0.1, okay. The formula we're using here is R is equal to D naught 1 plus G P naught. Okay, just replicate the formula. R is equal to D naught 1 plus G, P naught minus flotation cost plus G. To give us how much? The cost of issuing new shares. To give us 15.5. To give us 15.5 to be the cost of issuing new shares. As you can see, it is more expensive. The issue new shares is more expensive compared to the use of the company past earnings. So the cost has jumped. Okay. And of course, we do expect that the entire cost of the company will increase. The company marginal cost of capital therefore will increase. Why? Because we are issuing new shares at a more expensive price. Okay. So going back to our workings that we are discussing. Okay, so you've done this already and you obtain 15.5%. Okay. So having done that, now we can be able to submit the MCC. Okay. Why? Because here we already have the cost of the debenture already. We have the cost of earning. Now we have the cost of issuing new shares, and you have the cost of preference share. So we have done the workings already. Okay. So simply it's applying now. Okay. So the MCC, the marginal cost of capital, we are saying that the amount of capital to be raised from issue share is 10 million. So 10 million at a cost of 15.5. Then we are going to obtain the 10 million, the other 10 million from the retained earning. So 10 million at a cost of 15%. You're going to raise 15 million from the 9% debenture. Okay, so 15 million from the 9% debenture. And I think we already have done that. The 9% debenture cost, we have done it already. Here, where is it? 9% debenture cost was, yes, here it is. Okay, we have it here. It is 7%. Okay, so the cost is at 7%. Okay, so the cost is 7%. Then 15 million, okay, we have it here. We're going to raise 15 million from the preference share. 15 million, and the cost of preference share, okay, you've done that already. I think it was 10%. Yes, it is 10%. Okay, therefore 10% times 10%. The total capital we are raising is 50 million. We have it here. Okay, the 50 million we have here. Okay, so therefore divide by 50 million. There was an MPC between 25 million and 67 million. Okay, that's good. It's 11.2%. Okay, 11.2%. Okay, so going back to our analysis we had here. Yes, so between 25 and 7, the cost we obtained is 11.2. That's very good. Just gotten. Yes, 11.2. 11.2%. As you can see, the cost has increased. It has jumped. So any capital between just above 25 million and not above 66.7 million, the cost remain constant at 11.2%. Now, what if you are to raise, for example, okay, 100 million, like this example, this company is raising 100 million, okay? What will be the cost? Now, it is beyond the break point, which implies, therefore, the company MCC will have to increase. Okay, why? Because it is beyond the break point. Now, you can pick any figure, but it has to be above the 6.7 million. Okay, so just let me take 100 million. Okay, if I take 100 million, okay, capital, what will become the cost? Okay, capital be raised. So capital raised, sharing 100 million. Okay, if that's the case, therefore, the total amount to be received from equity, okay, 0.4 times 100 would give us 40 million. And this 40 million, you're going to raise it, okay, from issue of shares. You're going to raise it from the retained earnings also. Then from debt, you can trace from 2. You have the 9% debenture. We have the 12% debenture. And you have the usual company preference shares. Okay, preference share. Don't get the debenture, the 9% debenture, the maximum you can raise is equal to is, don't get this, is the maximum is 30%. I think I should have done it. Let me just don't notify my work here. Okay, from equity I've done already. From debt, we can say it will be 30% of 100 million to give us 30 million. From 9% debenture, the maximum you can raise, you first raise from the 9% before you go to 12%. The maximum from 9%, I think we just got 20 million. The balance, 30 minus 20, 10, it will be therefore will be from the 9 for the 12% debenture, the more expensive one now. Okay, preference share remain the same. Okay, preference shares is 30% times 100 million to give us 30 million. Don't forget, for the preference share, there's no breaks. So all irrespective of the amount you're going to raise, they're going to come from one preference share. Okay, 30 million. Okay, total 100 million. From retained earning, the maximum we are going to obtain from retained earning is 10 million. The balance, okay, that is 40 minus 10, is from the issue of shares, 30 million. Okay. Now, don't forget, in this example, okay, we are going to issue shares. So we need to get the cost of issuing shares, which you've just done. We need to get the cost of using retained earning, which you've already done. We need to get the cost of 9% debenture, which you've done. We need to get the cost of the preference share, which you've already done. However, we are yet to get the cost of the 12% debenture. Okay, therefore, that will come for our next working. We need to get the cost of the 12% debenture. Okay, so another working for it. So here we only need to get the cost of the 12. We have done already the others. The only bit remaining is the 12% debenture. Okay, so cost of 12% debenture. So first is to get the interest. This is paying at 12%. Now this debenture, is it 100? What is its nominal value? Any extra debt, this is from the second line in the first point. Any extra debt is going to raise through an issue of 12% debenture at 960. The par value of those debenture is 1,000. Okay, so it's 1,000, not 100, like the other debt. Okay, but you pay tax. You pay tax. Okay, and the tax rate is 30%. Therefore, the net interest income is 84. Okay, you'll be told that the market value P naught, okay, for this debenture is 960. However, we don't have the flotation cost. Okay, therefore, the cost of this debenture is equal to the interest 84. We divide by 960. We express this as a percent to give us how much? To give us 8.75%. 8.75% kind of for the cost of the 12% debenture. Okay, I think you have all the workings. Okay, having done that, now you can be able to get to the MCC. Okay, therefore, the marginal cost of capital, if the company raises 100 million, now from issue shares, we have said that we're going to use 30 million. Okay, the issue share, 30 million, at a cost of 15.5. Then from the retained earning, 10 million at a cost of 15. Okay, so 10 million at a cost of 15%. Then this company also has the 9% debenture. 20 million will come from the 9% debenture. So 20 million will come from the 9% debenture. And the cost of the 9% debenture was how much? I cannot remember. The cost of 9% debenture was, is this? Yes, we have it here. Okay, we have it here, 7%. Okay, 7%. 7%. then 10 million will come from the 12% debenture. So 10 million will come from the 12% debenture. So 10 million will come from the 12% debenture at a cost of 8.75%. Then for this company, this company also has the preference share, 30 million. So 30 million. And the cost of preference share remained the same, which was 10%, I suppose. Because the preference share was how much? Yes, was here, 10%. Okay, you have it here, 10%. We divide total capital, which in this case I chose 100 million. Okay, but you can choose any figure. Okay, you can choose 90, provided it's just above the break. It's above the 66.7 million. To give us a cost of how much? Give us 11.43. Thank you for that. We get 11.43. Okay, 11.43. So for the MCC, any figure above the 66.7 million. So let's go back here. Okay, where is it? MCC, we have obtained a big 11.43%. Okay, so maybe just to check. Okay, you can try as much as possible. Okay, to try to work within the figure that you prefer, provided it is between 0 and 25 for the first break, between 25 and 66 second break, and any figure above the 66.7 million. Okay, and the cost ought to be the same. Okay, this becomes therefore why the break is existing, because you can see the cost here is increasing and the cost here is increasing. Okay, and that's how we do get the cost of financing. Okay. Question. I don't know how your examiner did expect you to do that question within the time frame for the exam, but your examiner can ask those questions. Okay, like in this case, the examiner asked you, okay, for only 14 marks. Okay, so that implies therefore you need to be very quick, okay, when attempting such a question. Question. Okay, so I presuppose in case there's no question, then I guess we can call it a day and we do meet next week. And there's a question here. Okay, so sign and then we meet next week. Okay. See you then.